Good morning, students. Welcome to the class. Hope you all are doing well. As you know that we are on chapter number 3 of microeconomics, demand, and we are on chapter number 3. The chapter's name is demand and price elasticity of demand. Yesterday we have studied this topic, types of demand. So today we are going to learn about the determinants of demand. Okay, so or the factors which affect the demand. Okay, or you can also call it a determinants of demand. The first thing is the price of the product. Okay, so the people use price as a parameter to make decisions if all factors remains constant or equal. Okay, according to the law of demand, this implies an increase in demand which follows a reduction in price, and a decrease in demand follows an increase in the price of similar goods. Right, the demand curve and the demand schedule help determine the demand quantity of at a price level, and elasticity of demand implies a robust change quantity accompanied by a change in price. Similarly, an inelastic demand implies that volume does not change much even when there is a change in price. Okay, so here what we mean to say is that whatever decisions a person is taking, a consumer is taking, when all the other factors which they remain constant or equal, like the price of the commodity, the income of the consumer. Okay, so these are the factors. If they remain constant or equal, then whatever decisions a person is making, it will be on the parameters of the factors only, right? So as you know that according to the law of demand, this implies an increase in demand, okay, which follows a reduction in price. Whenever you know that whenever the demand for a commodity is increased in the market, the price is also reduced at the same time, and a decrease in demand, it follows an increase in the price of the similar goods, right? So it is denoted by the demand curve and the demand schedule. It helps to determine the demand quantity at a price level. Okay, so demand of a normal commodity, it is actually inversely related to its price. When the price of the commodity falls in the market, its quantity demanded increases, and vice versa. That is what we are talking here. Now the second thing is income of the consumer. Now, as you know that the rising incomes lead to a rise in the number of goods demanded by the consumers. Now, as you know that suppose if you are getting a pocket money of 500 rupees per month, okay, so you are going according to that. Your expenses are being fixed according to that. Now, suppose if your pocket money increases to rupees 1000 or maybe 1500, okay, then what happens? Obviously your demands will increase as your income has increased. So similarly, a drop in income is accompanied by a reduced consumption level, and if at all it happens, like rather than increasing your pocket money, your parents decrease your pocket money. You are getting rupees, already you are getting rupees 500, now you are getting rupees 250, then it will actually it will also if it put an effect on the consumption levels. Okay, because as your income will be low, your consumption level will also be reduced. So this is the relationship between the income and demand. It is not linear in nature. Okay, so marginal utility determines the proportion of change in the demand level. Okay, which says that income provides, as you know that the income provides the purchasing power for the purchase of commodities, right? So demand of a normal commodity is directly related to the income of the consumer. So the demand will rise if income of the consumer will rise, and vice versa. Now if we talk about the price of the related goods or services, okay, now there are basically two types of goods. Now we will see that demand for a commodity, it is also influenced by the change in price of related goods. Okay, the related goods are of two types basically. One is complementary good, the other one is the substitute good. Okay, so a complementary good product is an increase in the price of one product will cause a decrease in the quantity demanded of a complementary product. For example, the rise in the price of bread will reduce the demand for butter. Okay, so this arises because the products are complementary in nature, right? Because as you know that the both the things which we are buying, it is interconnected with each other. Now if we talk about now what happens, so in case of complementary goods, the market demand for a commodity rises with a fall in the price of the complementary commodity, and vice versa. For example, car and petrol. Okay, and if we talk about the substitute product, an increase in the price of one product will cause an increase in the demand for the substitute product. For example, rise in the price of tea will increase the demand for coffee and decrease in demand for tea. Consumers' expectations. Okay, expectation of a higher income or expecting an increase in price of goods will lead to an increase in quantity demanded, as you know. So similarly, expectations of a reduced income or a lowering in price of goods will decrease the quantity which is demanded by the consumers in the market. Number of buyers in the market, that is the major it has a major effect on the total or net demand. So as the number increases, the demand also increases. Furthermore, this is true that irrespective of changes in the price of commodities. Now we will shift on to the next topic, that is demand and income of the consumer, normal goods and inferior goods. Okay, so as you know that demand of a commodity, okay, and income of the consumer, both are interrelated with each other. If there is demand, your demand will increase according to your income and decrease according to your income, right? So the quantity of a good that a consumer demands can change with the change in the income depending on the nature of the good. Okay, so this change is exhibited in the consumption of normal goods and inferior goods, right? So we will see what is normal good. Basically, I'll tell you that these are the goods for which the demand is directly related to the consumer's income, other than the things which are remaining constant. Demand for these goods increase in response to increase in the consumer's income, and opposite to it. Okay, like full cream milk, pulses, grains, etc. Right? So the normal goods, a normal good is also called a necessary good, okay, which we use in our daily life. It doesn't refer to the quantity of the good, but rather the level of the demand for the good in relation to wage increases or declines. Okay, so it is said that it is actually dependent on the demand, the level of demand. It is related in a good relation to the wage increase or wage decrease, right? The income when it decreases or income when it increases. So the normal good has an elastic relationship between income and demand for the good. If we say in other words, the changes in demand and income are positively correlated or move in the same direction. Okay, so income elasticity of demand measures the magnitude with which the quantity demanded for a good changes in reaction to a change in income. It is used to understand changes in consumption pattern that result from changes in purchasing power. Okay, now a normal good, what happens, it has an elastic relation between the income and demand for the good, right? If the income will be more, the demand will be more. If income will be less, demand will be less, as we are talking about as we were talking about the same. So in other words, if we say the change in demand and income, they are positively correlated. Okay, or they move in the same direction. They move in the same direction because, as you know, that one thing is related with the other. Income is related with the consumption, okay, or the demand, you can say. So what happens, the income elasticity of demand, it measures the magnitude with which the quantity demanded for a good changes in reaction to change in income. Okay, so if we talk about the inferior goods, they're just opposite to the normal goods. right? So inferior goods are the goods that see the demand drop as consumers income rises. Okay, so in other words, if we say in as an economy improves and wages rise, okay, as you know that if we compare today's time, okay, the wages of the wages of the employees, okay, or the labor wages of the labor was very low if we talk about around 10 to 20 years back. But now as our economy has improved a lot, the wages are also rising up, and the consumers would rather have a more costly alternative than inferior good. However, the term inferior doesn't refer to quality but rather affordability. Okay, so these are basically the goods for which the demand is inversely related to the consumer's income. Other things remaining constant, demand for goods decrease in response to income in the to increase in income in the income of the consumer. Okay, like for example, if we say now if we talk about the people of the village, what do for making bread? They grow they grow wheat in their own fields, they process it and then they grind it, and then they get the fresh flour to make the chapatis. Okay, now what we do as people in the cities also, people are doing the same thing, but still what are they doing? People are directly buying flour from the market for making their bread. Now for the people those who buying flour from the market for making bread, for them the wheat is an inferior good. Okay, the coarse wheat is an inferior good. So or you can say or the coarse cereals, or you can say milk and all. Okay, toned milk and all. So these are the inferior goods. And public transportation tends to have an income elasticity of demand which is coefficient that is less than 0, meaning that its demand falls as the income rises. Now the best example is public transportation. Now as you know that these days there are many people those who are depending upon public transportation for their day-to-day life. Now if we talk about the people those who are living in metro cities and all, now for them the best option is public transport, because they have to reach to the office at the right time. But but when they go out of the house, they find heavy traffic on the road, so it is very difficult for them to reach to their destination at the proper time. So what do? People switch on to the public transportation. Now if we talk about the system in our country, okay, if we talk about around 50 years back, people when you go out on the road, you may never find people with so many cars and bikes and scooters and all. At that time, where the rich people, only the rich people, they were having these vehicles to move around. So at that time, people they opted for public transportation only. But if we compare that time with now, each and every person, if there are 4 people in a family, each and every person will be having a mobile phone along with the vehicle. Okay, so what happens, every person and they even feel very comfortable to move around in their own bike or maybe car or any vehicle. So for them, for the people those who prefer their own vehicle for moving around, for them the public transportation is an inferior thing. Okay, because they do not want to walk, and they do not want to be in rush and all, right? So this reveals a generalization in human behavior. Most people would prefer to drive a car if given a choice. Inferior goods include all the goods and services that people purchase only because they can't afford the higher quality substitutes of these goods. Okay, so right, you can see the graph here. There are 2 graphs made, normal good and inferior goods. Okay, now if you observe the normal goods, in case of normal goods, increase normal goods, increase in income causes the forward shift in the demand curve. As you can see, these two straight lines here, okay, these two straight lines are the demand curve, D1 and D2. Now what happens, at the beginning, what happened, the now you can see a forward shift in the demand curve. D1 was the demand curve in the beginning. Okay, now what happened, the price of the commodity increased. Okay, sorry, the income of the commodity of the consumer increased. So what happens, this is the demand curve where the quantity this y x-axis is is the place where the quantity is shown, and on the y-axis the price is shown. Now what happens, this dotted line, it does not denote that the price is increased, it denotes that the income of the consumer is increased. So what happens, as in the beginning the D1 was a demand curve, now it will be shifting from D1 to D2, because it means that the demand curve has shifted shifted forward, which means that the income of the consumer has increased, and according to that the consumption of the consumer has also increased. Okay, this shows that the demand curve has shifted forward. Now earlier it was D1, now it has become D2. Now if we talk about the inferior goods, in case of inferior goods, increase in income causes backward shift in the demand curve. Now what happens, here also you can see what is the similarity here. Here also the income has increased, here also the income has increased, but what happens, here the demand curve shifts forward, here the demand curve comes backward. Okay, now which means that if the demand curve is moving forward, it is in the case of normal goods. If it normal goods, that is the day-to-day goods, which includes a person's life, which includes the person's basic necessities in life. So what happens, inferior goods are the ones, normal goods are the ones which are essential commodities of life. Now what happens, with the increase in income, the consumer increases his consumption also. That is why it is a forward shift. Now if we talk about the inferior goods, now here also the income of the consumer has increased, but what the consumer has done, he has reduced using the inferior goods. So you can see here, at the on the x-axis you can see quantity, on the y-axis you can see the price. Earlier the demand curve was D1, now because the income of the consumer has increased, so it will come to D2. Okay, so these are the two shifts in the demand curve. In case of normal goods, the demand curve will shift forward when the income of the consumer increases, but at the same time, if we talk about the inferior goods, if the income of the consumer increases, then the demand curve will shift backward. Okay, so I hope that the class was good, and you must have understood the topics very well. If more classes are there from tomorrow onwards, so I'll upload more videos. I hope you must be studying well at home. Thank you and have a good day ahead.